Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Joy Without Justification. This is our podcast, and with me, as always, and a pleasure to sometimes listen to talk. There's times I've banged my head off the wall, but Dan, good to have you here again today. And what are we talking about today, Dan?
Zen and Self-Discovery.
Zen and Self-Discovery. Yes. So this is something we touched on a little bit in the anxiety episode. And I don't totally understand the whole Zen philosophy and everything. So hopefully today we're going to get a little bit of an understanding of that, you know.
And it's hard to cram. I mean, our podcast is 15 minutes start to finish. It's hard to take a subject so broad and to give it a concise definition. But so this will be a very quick overview, for sure.
Quick, but you know, like I said, you studied it. You understand it a little bit better than I do. So I'm sure, even though we don't have the like hour that most people do to record a podcast, you can get out as best you can.
No, I can. To me, what's definitely intriguing about it is I think philosophically, on some level, mankind has always been pretty much struggling with anxiety, anxious thoughts, because that's kind of where Zen comes in. I think the Middle East, they turn to, definitely religion, whereas Chinese philosophy and Japanese and Indian philosophy, although they have their gods, they tend to focus on peace. How can we find peace through all this? So that's the intriguing thing. So to me, it's about finding the inner peace and the understanding, and a way to kind of see yourself on a deeper level. That's what intrigued me about it. And the joy of quieting the mind, or the paradox of quieting the mind. Zen deals a lot with paradoxes. So anything that you think you're thinking, it's really not what you're thinking. So that's kind of it.
So then what are like some of the things you could do to be Zen?
Well, I would tell you to just kind of study up on Zen. There's different schools of Zen, and you kind of have to pick one that goes for you. So I practice secular Zenism in the sense that I don't join a temple or anything like that. So that's pretty much it. And meditation, I practice mindfulness meditation. That's where you kind of really focus on being in the present, feeling your body, scanning your body, knowing where you are, spending time in nature. To me, this is huge because I think we're all connected, Definitely we're going to touch on that when we talk about non-duality, but immerse yourself with the calmness of nature. And that's always been that way for me. As a kid, I could be outside and just be in my element.
Well, that was something even in the beginning of our relationship. We spent a lot of time out in the nature.
We hiked the woods.
Trying to find all the locks of the Sandy Beaver Canal system. And that was fun. Not to mention, it got us out of the
mess
we were crap trailer
right.
that we were living in at that time too. But
isn't there a connection when you're
there
in
is even times now when we've gone out like to the lake and sat, or down by the river and sat, just sitting there and listening to the water running, the birds, maybe a chipmunk once in a while. Yep. But you do, when you're out in nature, you do get that moment of peace and tranquility.
It forces you to be present and observe the present moment. I think that's why we like it so much. At least that's why I think we like it so much. It gets us in that present moment for sure. And there's just something liberating about being next to a tree. Journaling is another thing I do. I write down my thoughts and feelings and experiences, because this kind of helps you get clarity. When you see a theme when you're journaling, sometimes that can point you in a direction where you might need to focus some attention on some healing for sure. Explore those creative outlets. Engage in activities that allow you to express yourself freely, like painting, writing, music. For me, I like to read. I like to, I've always been on the spiritual end of things, I guess, and I like to study and learn about those kinds of things. So that's my creative outlet.
Even social media would be a creative outlet that somebody wanting to stay focused could do, because there's some channels I've seen on TikTok, and the one that I know for sure, this girl has like a debilitating disorder.
Yeah.
And she sometimes goes through anxiety, but uses TikTok as a way of overcoming that anxiety with it.
Yeah.
And so even any social media platform, if you can get on there and, who knows, maybe even help somebody that is going through something that is causing their life a problem. But hey, I'm going through it too, and this is and what helps me.
Right. Well, that's true too. Yeah. You got to just find something that you enjoy doing. The only caution I would give with social media is the doom scrolling. When you're doing that in place of dealing with yourself, that could be bad. Gratitude. This is something I learned not only in the Episcopal Church, but as well as Zen, is really focusing on what you're grateful for. So that kind of sets the tone. So the first thing I do, I have a gratitude journal. It's electronic. The first thing I do after I get myself awake is write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. And sometimes it's hard to find things you're grateful for. You've listed them, you've journaled them. It's okay to write the same thing again, but really make your mind look at those things that you can be appreciative of, because that kind of sets a tone. What we tell ourselves, we become. If you kind of constantly live in that anxiety, you're going to just continue to breed it. But if you breed and talk about the things you're grateful for, then your mind's going to start looking for the things to be grateful for. So that's huge. That's definitely huge for sure.
Yeah. So why don't we, Dan, then have a nice little Zen moment here, and let's have a nice little meditation.
Okay. So again, just find a place to be comfortable. If you're driving, please keep your eyes on the road, but just take a few deep breaths. In and out. Try to breathe real deep in, that you feel it in your belly button. Just let that go. Now just let your breathing kind of be normal. But with each inhale, imagine yourself inhaling peace and tranquility. And as you exhale, release any tension and stress. Just kind of visualize that stress, that tension leaving your body on every exhale. Just continue to do that. Now focus on the present moment. Notice the breath flowing in and out. Notice any sounds that you may hear off in the distance. Feel the sensations in your body. Start with your head and pay attention to your neck, and just go all the way down your body. If you feel tension, ask it to leave. Now, if your mind wanders, just focus on your breath in and out.
And as you're going through this, start to say this affirmation to yourself. I am calm and centered. I am open to exploring the depths of my being. Repeat that 3 times. I am calm and centered. I am open to exploring the depths of my being. And take a few more deep breaths. And when you're ready, start opening your eyes. So now, Dan, give us a few, what are your ideas of Zen?
Well, to start anyway, again, do some studying, but start small. Dedicate a few minutes to meditate. I started out with 5 minutes, and I've worked my way up to half an hour. I'm definitely still a novice, but consistency is key. You've got to make it a discipline. And what we do every day, we perfect. So just dedicate those few moments of meditation. If you can, do it in the morning and the evening. I set a timer to remind myself to be mindful throughout the day. Embrace silence. So schedule some time in your day for just sitting. You just sit there, you observe the present, and you are completely free from all distractions. Just kind of be there and be present with everything as it is. And practice non-judgment. So what that means is you observe your thoughts and feelings without a judgment. Again, you don't label them anything. You just see them. You see them rise. You see them fall and dissolve on their own. Let them come and go without being attached to it. Be open to new experiences, or what the Zen would call beginner's mind. You look at everything with childlike wonder, like it's the very first time you've ever seen this. Remember when you were a kid and you were playing and you could get so into it because you just were in that moment? That's how you...
That was the fun of being a kid, though.
Right. But that's how you view life. The Zen teaches you to view life with beginner's mind. Even that task that you've done 1 million times, look at it with a new possibility. Look at it with childlike wonder. And seek guidance. Consider joining a meditation group or working with a therapist to deepen your discovery.
And so before we start to close off here, we want to ask you all to please tune in. Let's see, this will be Tuesday, so please tune in on Thursday when we'll be talking about non-duality. And, subscribe to our podcasts, and hey, go and check out some of our other social media on YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, Blue Sky, and you can always email us here at joywithoutjustification@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know how we're doing. We're new to this podcasting thing and we're old, so be kind to us. But we'd love to hear some encouragement from y'all, or some criticism even.
Grandpa, remember your Geritol.
Well, please like us so it throws us out in the algorithm, or give us a quick listen. And remember, the path to self-discovery starts with you, and embrace your journey.
So again, we would like to thank you all for joining us. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Peace out.